Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now cheers to my BMW N57 engine. It's exactly 1 year and 7,700 miles, roughly 12,000 kilometers since I rebuilt this engine. I have 3 videos, my first 3 videos on the channel. If you are interested in the rebuild and the story, please watch the video. I will just mention that this car arrived to me with a partially spun main bearing. So that means that this engine was crap. I decided to give it a try. I rebuilt it, and 1 year later it's still running. It's highly tuned, not by me, that's how I bought it. I will link a small video about the sound. Yeah, it's a beast. Also, I'm towing with the car, which puts additional stress, and the car is performing good. I just changed the oil again. I will show you the oil filter is spot on, clean, no particles, thank God. When I took delivery of the car and I removed the oil filter, it was full of metal particles. So now, I will mention 2 things I think that contributed to the success of this rebuild. One is the bearings, the crankshaft bearing. The second thing is the oil I'm using for this engine. Let's mention the oil first. Instead of 530, I'm using 540. So why 540 instead of 530? The answer is simple. I used Schmidt bearings when I rebuilt this engine. I increased the tolerances just a little bit. We all know that BMW unfortunately uses very tight clearances originally. So let me give you the specs. 0024, 0065. This is what BMW gives as clearance. Now they are using from factory 0024 to 30, so very tight clearance. Let me just give you an example. The A4 white paper sheet is 0050. Now imagine half of that, and that's the clearance from factory. In my opinion, that's a bit tight. So I went and used Schmidt. I increased the clearance for roughly 0040, 45. I have the video, please watch it. I measured with plastic gauge, and yeah, I know for sure that that's the clearance. Now, why 40 instead of 30? What's the difference? 5 stands for cold start, winter, that's the W. So both of them, it's 5 on cold starts. What's different is the up temperature performance of the oil. 5W30 is good if you live in Finland or Denmark or up north where the temperatures are low. But since this car is remapped, right, it's using, it has a lot of torque and power. Plus, I increased the bearing clearances. I need this oil to perform good when the temperature is up to 100 degrees. That's roughly the operational temperature of this engine, the oil temperature. 5W30 gets way thinner, and oil pressure wise and lubrication wise, viscosity, yeah, I prefer the 40 because yeah, this is the result. It's working, and I'm happy with my choice. The second thing, the bearing choice. Why not original? Why Schmidt? Because in my opinion, this is the weakness of this engine. BMW used some dodgy material on the original main bearings, and many of you will argue, is the oil pump, did you replace it? No, I didn't replace the oil pump, still on the original one, and it's performing good. And I'm gonna give you my argument why I don't think that's the oil pump is that causing this problem with the N57. Watch my video, the rebuild video, and you will see that the conrod bearings, all 6 of them, looked like brand new, zero wear, and the main ones all gone, and cap number 7 completely almost spun. So the oil pump is not smart, doesn't have a brain. So I'm sending oil to the conrod bearings and no oil to the main ones, especially that the main ones are receiving oil first, That's where the oil pressure is created and then sent to the control. So it doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, the material that BMW uses is not up to task, especially on a high torque engine like this. And that's one of the weaknesses of this engine. So I'm glad I switched to Schmidt. It's performing good. And how crazy I am, I'm planning to strip it back down in half a year just to assess, the performance of the bearings, although I have 000 particles in the filter. In the near future, probably if I will have a spare time, I will remove the oil pan, and not all of them. I will remove the damaged one, cap number 7, and randomly another one in the middle, because you have to use new bolts then, and I don't want to spend extra money. But just for the peace of mind and for you, for YouTube, probably I will strip it back and assess my work. Another very important thing, contribution to this success, cold starts. You have to know how to drive these engines. Be patient. Wait until the oil temperature is up, and then if you want to floor it or abuse it, do it, but don't do it with a cold engine. So what I'm doing in the mornings, I'm starting the car probably 20-30 seconds until I'm fastening my seat belt. I'm making myself comfortable, adjusting the the heating, whatnot. And then the first few meters, first few seconds, first minute is critical. And the final thing, oil change intervals. I'm overdoing it a little bit, but since the oil is not that expensive, I'm not saying it's cheap, but I prefer to do it more often and have the peace of mind. Every 5,000-6,000 kilometers, I'm doing an oil change. But keep in mind, after the rebuild, I've done 3 oil changes in like probably 20-30 miles to wash out and filter out all the particles. And ever since, the oil filter I'm changing more regularly than the oil. But now that the engine is good, it's clean, the interval is 5,000, 6,000. So all this being said, this is a short video. I just wanted to share you my joy and my happiness. 1 year again, 7,700 miles, and a rebuilt N57 engine success done by me. I'm proud because this was my first engine rebuild, if we can call this an engine rebuild. I didn't remove the pistons and everything, just the crankshaft, but still it was a big step for me. I learned a lot, and it's performing. I'm gonna keep you updated regularly, like every half a year. I'm not planning to sell this car because X3 is one of my favorites. Great performance. As I said, it's remapped. The performance of this car is just unbelievable. Good fuel economy. I'm using it as a commute car. I'm towing with it. Good family car, good size, not too big, not too small, cheap, good looking. It's a good compromise in my opinion. So that's why I'm planning long term with this car. I will upload more videos. Didn't make any sense to replace everything before I know that the engine is holding up and it's good. So now that I know, yeah, I will do a lot of maintenance stuff and what this car needs. Very important note, I know that this engine can go wrong. It's just only 7,700 miles. A lot of you probably will say wait until 10, 20, but I'm happy to take the risk because I know my car, I know my driving style, I know that I have a decent understanding of these engines. I'm regularly checking the oil pressure, and regularly means like every 4 weeks I'm putting the manual gauge, measuring gauge, and I'm happy what I'm seeing. I will upload a video, oil pressure. That video will come later. I know the risks. The chances are there that it will spawn another bearing, or God knows. But at the moment, it's performing good. I'm using it, and yeah, happy days. So thank you very much for watching. Take care. God bless you, and see you at the next one.